Hi guys, welcome back to Sports with Mono and Mono. I'm Jim. I'm here with my partner in crime, Steve.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our show.
Yeah, sorry we're a day late, but
Sometimes life gets in the way, Jim.
I guess
Right?
it's the best way. And thank goodness our audience realizes that a day late's better than not at all.
That's right.
Right?
So here we are.
All right.
Thought we'd lead with some hockey.
Yeah, and it's probably going to surprise some people. We'll certainly talk about the NHL, but I think you have something on your mind as far as hockey goes.
Well, absolutely. So this past weekend, February 22nd, was the Miracle on Ice anniversary, 40 years. And
Where were you while that game was going on?
I was thinking about it. I think it was a Friday night, and the game was tape delayed, and a lot of people knew that the USA beat
I didn't.
the Russians. I did,
I didn't.
but it still didn't diminish anything for me.
Absolutely not.
So once you saw that, or saw the game, even I knew the outcome. So exciting, I can't even tell you.
I know.
And then hearing Al Michaels.
Classic call forever,
Oh
right?
my God! I mean, it's right up there with the best of all time. There's no question.
Definitely.
But I mean, I still get chills.
Who doesn't?
Um,
And even got to tell you, I watched Miracle with Kurt Russell.
Great movie.
I thought it was going to be horrible when it first came out. Great movie. He was an awesome Herb Brooks.
I can watch it 1,000 times. Never
Yep.
gets old.
And we know all of the kids that are there and these guys that are playing them. It was pretty cool.
Right?
Yeah. But I saw a lot of stuff on it. They interviewed a lot of the former players, and it's so funny. It's just 40 years. These guys were babies when we were watching them, and now look like us.
Yeah. So I went to Boston University. So
Hockey,
right,
town.
Jack O'Callahan, Dave Silk,
Right,
Mike Eruzione,
right,
Jim Craig.
right.
Right.
Wow.
And I just read an article too about the game. And it was more about the stats of the game, the numbers. The
All right.
Russians dominated that game beyond words.
They did.
And Jim Craig played the game of his life.
Even after getting knocked cuckoo on the ice and came back, and
Yeah.
today's day and age, he would have been pulled off the ice.
But the shots on goal, things like that, it was
Peppered, I think they call him.
incredible.
Yeah.
Right? So then, Mark Johnson gets a goal, late, I think it was the first period type of thing. And they just kept battling. And the thing about the team was they were always down. They always went down 1 goal, 2 goals, and they always came back. But that game was unbelievable. And then Sunday, right?
The gold medal
They
game.
had to play Finland. And I knew where I was. I was in our house Sunday morning. They went down 2-0 in that game.
I couldn't have been more than 10 feet away from you, sitting in the
right.
same room.
And
Obviously.
bam, they come back and win the gold medal.
Yeah.
It ranks up there, like
Sports moments, no
Well,
question.
right.
The Bobby Thompson home run, right? All this
so
kind
we
of
talk
stuff.
about the Rangers winning the Stanley Cup. For us, that's right up there.
It is
But
way-
this was
It was a
never
once in a lifetime.
Never
thing.
gets old.
Right.
Love it.
Exactly.
So
Seen 1,000 highlights. Seen the goal by Mark Johnson
Oh, my
5,000 times.
Eruzione's goal, but the thing, Herb Brooks. What a coach! What a game plan! What discipline! He had it. He had it thought out.
He did.
And you know what?
He almost blew his marriage.
Ah.
That's how intense he was over this. Like, he's the only one that actually must have thought we could possibly do this if everything falls into place.
That's
and
right.
they do what I tell them to
Right.
do.
So it's a little sad that Herb's not around.
Yeah.
He passed away in a car accident. God, it's maybe 20 years now or
I'm
something.
going to say
right?
20. Yeah,
But
20.
what a great story. And I thought we'd lead with that.
It's worth
It
leading
never,
with.
ever gets old.
It was awesome. It was awesome. And you know what? Obviously it was the U.S. and so forth. But if we saw that kind of an underdog go against a powerhouse like that, we would have rooted for Croatia. I mean, it wouldn't have mattered, right?
Yeah.
But it happened to be the U.S. and just everything fell into place. And you're right.
The
Thoughts?
one thing about that team, they were the best conditioned team in that tournament by far.
Again,
You know, and
Again.
they rolled these lines too. Part of the story I read was 30-second shifts. They rolled 4 lines constantly,
Yeah.
and they were fresh legs all the time. And you know
Yep.
what? God,
it was great. I'm glad that was worth
Never
leading
gets
off.
old.
The Miracle on Ice.
That's right.
40 years ago.
Right.
Right? We were kids.
Well,
We were kids.
I was 15 years old.
I watched the Russian game. I think I was in Vermont. I know I was in Vermont for skiing, which I don't even ski, but I was in Vermont, and
Right.
I remember I didn't. That's why I said I didn't know about it. I didn't know who won, right? Because I wasn't sitting around watching the games.
Is
all
that the
weekend.
state where Bernie Sanders is a senator?
Donald Trump is a racist. It'll cost $43 trillion, but we can do it. That's my Bernie Sanders.
What's
Not
wrong?
even my best one.
What's wrong with the literacy program in Cuba? You have a problem with that?
Castro taught these people to read. Forget it.
We don't do politics.
We're
but
not.
it
We're
was
wandering
too easy.
off. But I'm glad you brought up the Miracle on Ice 40th anniversary. It's awesome.
Right?
Good lead.
So let's talk about the New York Rangers. So, our boy Teddy Giandana, we mentioned him
Yeah.
this week, I think it was. And,
Loyal fan.
yeah, and Ted was a proponent of signing Kreider.
Me too.
And
You
JD
know.
didn't disappoint, so they inked him to 7 years. And I'm on board with it.
Me too. That's the way I was hoping. I didn't want to see him go because I think you need that one veteran that's been there, done it.
I've been waiting, a lot of
Waiting for
people
what? He's a
know I've been
defenseman.
disappointed with Kreider.
Have you? I'm not sure why.
I just expected more of him, but he's coming on, and you know what? He is a good Ranger, and I got no issue with this signing. I think it's a good thing.
I think it was a smart
but
thing.
he better produce.
Okay, but if you're looking for this guy to score 50 goals, he's not going to do that.
team
you know?
leader, all that stuff.
I think
So,
he's already exhibited
yeah.
that
So
role.
put the C
you know?
on his sweater. And,
Exactly.
let's go from there.
Exactly. That comes with the 7-year deal or whatever, and the money he's going to get.
Right.
Absolutely. I think
So-
it's a great move in a rebuilding situation.
Yeah, so then the other Ranger news was yesterday. The 2 kids, Shesterkin and Buchnevich, went to Brighton Beach after a game and a car accident. And,
Yeah.
Shesterkin ribs broke. I
Oh,
think.
so he's out now?
He'll be out for a while.
Oh.
And,
Didn't
you
see
know.
much details on it. It was more than a fender bender?
the airbag.
I know they were on a bender, I'm sure. You know.
That was my first thought, but no reports have come out yet.
Okay.
If vodka was involved with crash. But, hey, doesn't help the cause. We're 4 points out of the playoffs.
Yeah. I'm not. You know what? I'm not even pinning my hopes on them making the playoffs this
No.
year. I think even if they do, it's a bonus. But I don't see them going very far.
They're ahead of schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
And this Panarin is as advertised.
You spoke about him
Panarin.
very highly, and I'm saying I don't know that he's worthy of that praise,
Yeah.
but he
All-
showed me
I think
otherwise.
All Ranger fans are very happy with this.
I like him too.
Yeah.
I like him too.
So then other NHL news, Ovechkin's 700 goals.
All right.
Well,
You've been dying to set me up for this one, and
Well-
I'm ready to take my cough medicine here. And here's let me give you my take. I know you brought this up, and at first it just, it shook me to my core to say somebody could possibly approach Wayne Gretzky's records. Somebody could possibly,
894.
which is unbelievable.
So
And he just got his 700th and 701st goal, right? And he's what? 35 now?
34.
Yeah, okay.
And it's funny because Gretzky retired at 38, right? So if
But-
you do the math, he's 4 years out, and there is no sign of him stopping. And if
He could
You
sit
gotta
on that
bet-
wing and get fed and take that slap shot and score 30. I agree with you, but
You got to lean towards he's going to break this.
that's 34 hard miles on those tires,
It's
and I'm
true.
just wondering at some point is that. I mean, the guy drank a beer factory worth of a beer out of the Stanley Cup.
That's right.
You know, he's got to still have a hangover.
Ukraine that week. But we have to bring that up.
All right, I'm going to give you kudos. I'm not ruling it out. I still think it's one of the most unreachable goals in sports. I still do. I still do. And, you know, he's going to have to. But you're right. You said, hockey players play till 38, 39. You mentioned Yager played till he was, 45 or something.
Right.
But scored.
Chelios, 41, 42.
He was productive.
Yeah.
Yager in his last 4
Yeah.
years was just hanging on.
But there's
trying-
guys, that play to their 40.
All right.
So, had to bring that up.
Yep.
We'll monitor that.
Yeah, and there wasn't a lot of blockbuster deals and stuff in the NHL. I think that I saw there wasn't a lot of big names got moved.
Yeah, well, nothing really of significance. No big names.
All right, so we're winding second half of the season down the stretch. It's got to be a little past second half, right?
Oh, yeah, we're
Getting
getting to
close.
the finish line soon.
It's the longest season in sports.
20
so.
games. I would say.
These guys, this is a 9-month season
Oh
for
yeah.
these guys.
No, when these guys win the Stanley Cup, they work for it.
Oh my
So
goodness. Oh my
That's
goodness.
why they celebrate the way they do. It's like,
You
thank
bet.
God it's over. So,
Well, no, I'm glad we actually opened up with hockey. It was worth it, and that segment was sponsored by Coriano Trucking of Haverstraw, New York.
right?
And so let's move on. Let's move on to the. I guess it was a pretty popular topic. I've heard a lot of people talking about it. You and I both conceded it wasn't something that was going to change our plans. Watching the Fury Wilder bout in Las Vegas.
Had a lot of buzz, that's for sure.
It did, and a lot of people, like I said, I've seen bits and pieces of it, and I know, he dropped this guy bad, but he's blaming that on his 40-pound costume and stuff.
Yeah,
so you
right.
gotta take that into account. Not
So I will say I picked Wilder, and the reason is this guy's got a lights out punch, right?
both of them do though.
Yeah,
I mean,
but-
both of them do.
Fury, 6'9", 273, came in shape, and you know what? 40 pounds or not, boxed him
In shape,
and kicked
that
him.
shape,
Well, boxing
that shape. Yeah, I guess, but
I give the guy credit. He kicked the crap out of him
Uh,
for 7 rounds.
he's a giant.
And
There's
you know
no
what?
question. This was two giants in the
Yeah,
ring going
this guy
at it.
deserved to win, and
He's got a punch that could knock you into next Tuesday.
Right.
I get that.
And this guy's personal battle with a lot of crap, but it's a good story.
It is, I guess. I mean, it's something boxing needed. They lost their luster to the UFC.
And there'll be a third one, I'm sure. The money's just too great.
Of course, there's going to be a
We'll
third.
see what happens. But, if Fury wants to fight this
Joshua.
Anthony Joshua, I think his name
Yeah,
is.
something Joshua.
But that will fill Wembley Stadium because
he's going to do it on his turf.
90,000, 100,000 people are going to attend that fight.
I guess.
So that's good for England, that type of thing.
It was definitely a boon for boxing because it's hanging on by a thread. I mean,
But I'm happy Fury won.
I don't dislike the guy.
I don't
you know.
dislike him either. I think he's.
I just dislike
Good
that.
personality.
I mean, when I see boxing and I watch Ali and Foreman and Frazier and these guys, I just see this big guy that just looked like he's carrying an extra 30 pounds.
Well, he's the heavyweight champ of the world.
Agreed.
Undisputed.
Agreed. So, I guess I don't even know whether I said it was a surprise or not. I said either way, it could go either way. I don't even think I picked anybody. Because I knew, I mean, you pick one, the other guy's got just as good a chance. And actually,
Wilder
Fury was
came
the
in-
underdog.
Well,
underdog.
Wilder came in 42-0-1 with 40 knockouts,
Yeah,
something like that.
Yep.
Fury 30 or 29-0-1, and so listen, Fury absolutely won the fight, and we'll see what happens if there's a third.
But I don't know what's on the horizon
But
for
I don't
boxing.
see Wilder beating this guy now. I mean, I'm all in on Fury. 6'9", 273. good luck.
I know,
with
but
this
the other guy's 6'7", you know, I mean.
Nah,
Wow.
I'm buying Fury stock going forward.
But what was the one thing, and I heard him mention, what was Mark Breland's role in this? And we remember Mark Breland from the Olympics and so
Right.
forth, you know. What was he was involved? They said he was the one that stopped the fight.
He was in Wilder's camp then.
He was in Wilder's camp.
He had to be. I mean, you know, Wilder was getting his ass kicked for 7 rounds. So, I mean, he was cut the whole thing. You know.
Yeah.
So Breland was probably just saying enough is enough. You know, that type of thing. So, because he's a named boxer, so his name is involved. So.
Yeah. Yeah, but I saw his name. I said, "Oh, I remember Mark Breland coming up." I think we remember Mark Breland in the Golden Gloves, crying out loud in New York,
No doubt.
right?
Yeah.
New York guy.
Yeah.
Who's the other guy? And his Howard Davis was a
Howard Davis.
Long Island kid, I think.
Yeah.
From
Well, he was an Olympic.
Glens Cove.
boxer.
Glen Cove. Or something?
Howard
Glen
Davis.
Cove. Yeah.
That was during the Sugar Ray Leonard era. Breland was after Sugar Ray, but I think Howard Davis was kind of around Sugar Ray's time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sugar
he was
Ray
part
was
of
the
that.
'76 Olympics.
Yes,
so.
he was.
Yeah.
The other guys were what? 84.
Yeah, Breland was
84?
early '80s. Or something.
84?
Yeah, probably '84.
Yeah. Hey, but listen, if they put this other fight on, I'll watch it this time. This time I'll actually watch it to see what's going on. I won't pay $100 to watch it.
So you're not watching.
If somebody else wants to pay $100, I'll stop over. But it did pique my interest, I must say. And I've watched it, and actually I said, you know what, both of these guys aren't so bad. It was actually.
Yeah, listen, Wilder's a good kid. He's not a bad guy, So again, it's good for the heavyweight division. There hasn't been a marquee match in a long time,
God.
so we'll see what happens going forward.
And before we get off boxing, because I've seen a lot of this stuff leading up to this, and saw interviews with guys like Riddick Bowe and
Lennox Lewis.
Lewis, and I'm saying to myself, when we grew up watching Ali, Frazier, Foreman, Norton, I mean, it was unbelievable. Even Ernie Shavers, crying out loud, right?
Absolutely. Jerry Quarry when he wasn't on I Dream of Jeannie.
Yeah, didn't he do a Brady Bunch too?
He trained Tony Nelson in I Dream of Jeannie.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Oh, slapstick beyond.
Never gets old.
Never gets old, that's right.
Major Nelson.
Oh, absolutely. That's funny. That's funny.
That was for our loyal listeners.
But that's,
Penny
you know,
Packard,
that's
the
what
ma-
I equate
Dr. Bellows
Yeah.
impression.
Major Nelson. Yes, sir. But anyway, like I said, when I think back on those guys and I see what's going on today, that's why if I'm representative of guys growing up, it's just not what it once was. And I guess it could never be, but
Yeah, plus you got this UFC stuff now, and it's just
Yeah.
boxing. But listen, boxing is coming back. ESPN and Fox have invested a ton
I know.
of money.
I know.
So boxing isn't dead.
they're
but,
rolling the dice.
But they need some bona fide fighters to get it back on the map.
Right, but when we
And
were
especially the heavyweight division.
when we were
That's what
watching
you
it,
want.
right? We it was the heavyweight division right down to the lightweights, right? The middleweight, everything was great. Every category. Now, I
Alexis
don't,
Arguello.
Oh, my goodness.
The lower weights.
Yep.
Guys like that, man. No doubt.
and I'm going to tell you the best fight, and I don't know if my fans will, our fans will know about this. It was Cornelius Boza Edwards. I know, look it up, but
Yeah, okay.
versus Bobby Chacon. It was like a Latino boxer, and they were 140 pounds.
I remember.
I never ever saw a fight where these guys kicked the crap out of each other non-stop for like 12 rounds. It was unbelievable.
But the most recent, like within recent memory, Mickey Ward and Arturo Gatti. Three
Yeah.
fights, these guys, holy Christ, kick
I
the
know.
shit out of each other.
I know. I know.
I mean, literally.
I mean, the heavyweights can't go at this pace. These 140 guys can throw haymakers all day long.
Right.
But it was Chacon and Boza Edwards. It was like a Saturday afternoon on Why World of Sports or something, and we watched it. And I said, "Holy crap! It was unbelievable."
Okay.
So
I remember.
we're boxing fans, and we're pushing for a comeback. I just think they got a long road to hoe. That's
There
all.
you go.
But hey, listen, our boxing segment was sponsored by Lynch Motors of Manchester, Connecticut. If you buy a Toyota and you don't buy it there, you bought it at the wrong place.
There you go.
So-
Okay.
So let's tone it down a little bit from the violent sport of boxing to the rather
How about spring
sublime sport of golf.
training? Golf.
Because we saw the WGC Mexico Championship over the
Yeah.
weekend, and it was pretty good. Again, another star-studded lineup and stuff. But before we go into who won, who was conspicuously not there? Have you noticed?
Well, Woods was out because of
Right, but we
injury.
expect that. He's
Koepka's still been quiet,
but he's playing. He's been
Yeah.
playing. Who hasn't been playing? Jordan Spieth.
Yeah, that's good. I haven't really heard his name. What's up with them?
I don't know. That's a question I
Yeah,
was going to
injury.
ask.
Maybe he has an injury.
He's so young to have an injury kind of thing like that. But it was good to see his good buddy Justin Thomas was in there. Faltered on Sunday a little bit,
Right.
and but you see these young guys. I love watching. I love this guy John Rahm. I'm a big Patrick
He'll break
Reed fan
through.
too. We've been thinking about he's got to control his temper again.
but Rahm-
every
I think
time
Rahm-
they catch him
I think
slamming
Rahm
the
will get
club.
a major in the next 5 years or so.
Wow, 5
Still,
years.
he's a young kid still. I mean, mid-20s or something.
He's got to
Late 20s.
control his temper though.
That's fine.
I know.
Yeah.
But it was great to see it. And star-studded field. I love watching. And like I said, you and I'm not sure what the big controversy about why a lot of people don't like Patrick Reed and stuff. Maybe he was a little brash, but I never saw that.
Well, he had the incident with, he's been accused of quote-unquote
Cheating.
because he moved the ball and, had some fans breaking chops. But I
Yeah.
like Patrick Reed.
Me too.
I'm okay with his explanation.
And I think since he won a Masters in
Wow.
a green jacket, he's handled himself with,
Absolutely.
totally
So,
turned it around.
So now he's got clout. Like you said, he's got a major, and he's going to win more golf tournaments.
He
There's
is.
no question.
He is. And listen, that's good to see that Justin Thomas, I know he had a rough Sunday, but him coming back, he's good. He's good. Well, Patrick Reed. I mean, Patrick Reed won the tournament.
Right.
But he had all these guys on the heel, and it came down to Sunday, which is more than you can ask for on a Sunday golf,
No,
right?
no doubt.
Watching it was still up in the air for the last 5 holes.
And we're about a month out, maybe 5 weeks from Augusta. So
Already.
they're all tuned up. And
That's what this
they're
is all
getting
about.
it.
This
Of
is
course
spring
it is.
training for the Masters.
There's no doubt.
right?
We're already seeing commercials for the Masters.
I can't wait.
Oh yeah,
Can't wait.
I love that tournament.
But no, it was great. And then, like I said, golf has really picked it up and playing some major tournaments and early in the season. We talked a little bit about the schedule moving around a little,
Yeah.
but right, it starts off with the Masters, and that's like you said, only
Yeah.
5-6 weeks away, possibly.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna follow golf and so forth. Not a lot to report on the women's side since Annika Sorenstam retired like 8 years ago.
Nancy Lopez,
Right,
melted.
and Michelle Wee didn't become the phenom that we all thought she was going to be, but no. Anyway,
You still got Dottie Pepper on the holes.
on the broadcast
Of
team now,
course.
she's awesome.
Absolutely.
She's awesome.
So let's shift gears to spring training. Our New York Yankees in the news.
Yeah.
Pitching,
Ooh.
and already
Got the medical crew
Severino,
in.
Tommy John announced, so you can count him out.
For the season, anyway.
Like
Guys come back from this, though.
Yeah, but-
they do come back.
yeah, but he's trending where the last couple of years now he's he's not reliable.
So is it, yeah, but is that what we now have to question about? Did we bring him back too early last year? But if you're getting Tommy John surgery, you were on the road to getting Tommy John surgery
Absolutely.
anyway, right?
And plus, James Paxton's hurt too. I mean, like 3 weeks ago, I mean, he's got an issue. He's out 3-4 months.
I like him too.
But you know what? The Yankees are, will slide in. Jordan Montgomery's back. He missed pretty much all last year. He's a good young pitcher, and our boy Domingo Herman.
He's got some legal issues,
Well,
right?
Domingo won't be back till June 5th.
Okay.
He got an 81-game suspension
Okay.
for smacking around his
Yeah, it's wonderful.
his lady friend or something.
Yeah,
but,
I guess he can room with Aroldis Chapman, right?
But
Not
we'll
even
see what
making light
happens.
of
There's
it.
a lot of young arms in camp, but that's a big thing. It's about pitching. So
Well, here's some.
Severino was counted on, as probably the third starter behind Tanaka. You
And
got
a guy
Garrett
named Cole or
So
something.
obviously the signing of Cole is
Key.
Key.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And listen, I kind of wrote him off, and I would have dealt him over the off season for some young arms. Was Andujar. It seems like they're kind of higher on him than I thought they would be. Like I said, I think he's a liability in the field, but he's got a stick that he could really put up some numbers for these guys.
We'll see. We got a lot of collateral, so we'll see how it shakes out. Still early in spring training.
Right, and we'll pick what game Gary Sanchez pulls his hamstring,
Oh,
and,
that's-
Judge's shoulder, so they have to sit for a while.
I've got tax day, April 15th,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Well, listen, this is a make or break year for Gary Sanchez. I mean, if he lights it up, then obviously the Yankees will think about it. But I think they're growing a little impatient with his laziness and.
I'll say it again. I don't see the Yankees signing him long term. I think they trade him when he's due the big bucks.
Well,
Because
he's
we
gotta be
drafted
closing
two
it.
catchers first round. I'm not saying these guys are the be all end all, but I'm saying I don't see Hal Steinbrenner writing a check for a lot of dough for this guy.
Yeah.
Listen, I could be wrong, but I still think he's a dog. He can hit, and then hits home runs. But
this has got to be his contract year, right? I mean, I got to think it's got to be his fourth.
He went
his
to
fourth year.
arbitration. He got a big raise. I think he's making like $5 million now. Like Judge making $6 million now.
Right.
So Judge is obviously he's got to produce and trend the way he's been doing
And stay
to
healthy.
get that big
And
deal.
stay
And
healthy,
stay healthy.
you know?
But again, Sanchez. There's worse catchers out there, but I don't know.
I mean, it sounds like
Offensively, he's a liability. He's got a cannon arm. We know that.
he can throw guys
But
out.
the pass balls and the lack of average and the dogging and
After
the
pass
injuries,
balls, yeah, I know.
I'm not sold on.
I know. But, like I said, baseball's not too far away from opening day and so forth. And I think the Yankees are still the clear favorite. Amidst all this controversy still going on about the cheating scandal. and-
Yankees Dodgers are the odds-on favorites right now. Dodgers obviously with the Betts move, and God knows what their payroll is, for Christ's sake.
It's got to be it's certainly the highest in
So they haven't
baseball.
won since '88. So the Dodgers.
Yeah,
They better start winning a World Series soon.
yeah, they've been there 2 times in a row, right? And they're in the mix. They got a lot of good young talent with Bellinger and all these guys. They
love
do.
it.
They
Yeah.
really do.
So, I mean, the time is now for them to strike. So, they're formidable, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
But, again, you can't predict injuries, and
And it's kind of funny saying,
We'll see what happens.
it's game on, baseball season starts, and the defending champs are who? The Washington Nationals.
that's right.
Right?
And nobody's really talking about them.
No.
Because,
Maybe it was a fluke, maybe not. Strasburg's got some miles on him, on his arm.
They
But
resigned him, and, Rendon is gone. So, we'll see what happens in Washington. But they are the defending champs.
they are. Took me a minute to almost remember. And who won the World Series last year? Yeah.
Right.
And of course we figured it out.
And then over in Mets camp, Mr. Cespedes apparently is
Oh,
back
boy.
to work.
Boy,
They can have him. I want nothing to do with him.
I don't think anybody does.
And boy, what a pay cut he took. The only reason he's back is the Mets. I mean, when I say they slashed his salary, wow.
Yeah, but they didn't slash it. They just must have deferred it. He's making that money. But you know baseball players, when they sign a
cut his
contract, they
salary.
get every dime.
No, believe me, he took a major pay cut.
Where? I mean, how do you even think that's even possible?
That's what they did.
I think they would call it restructuring, but like he's
Well,
going to be getting
maybe-
Bobby Bonilla money
Well.
for the next 30 years, but maybe he's not making it now.
I'm telling you, they got
So it goes, I guess, against the cap or whatever. But
incentive laden, I guess is the best way to say it. So good luck with him, though.
oh my God, he is a headache
he's
and a
dog.
half.
He's a dog.
No, he does not want to play.
No.
He does not want to play. And you know what I didn't understand? Because Luis Rojas
Rojas?
is the manager.
And he-
Son of Felipe Alou? Is that different last
brother
name? How do we do
of
that?
Moises? Yeah.
Last name don't match.
No, it's just, I think he took his...
Cultural thing?
Yeah, cultural thing. But
Uh-huh.
he's an aloof through and through. So
Okay,
he
because
comes
we
from-
know all about them.
He comes from good pedigree. And
Okay.
he's a good young manager. I think he won the title in the minors. And, the Beltran, debacle, of course, gives him the opening to be the manager. And
People seem to like him.
hey,
You know,
I think he's a good hire, and we'll see what happens. So,
Yeah.
But again, he comes from the Alou family, and
which we know a lot about.
absolutely.
I remember Felipe Alou was on my 1964 San Francisco Giants Stratomatic
Right.
team.
Well, Matty Alou,
Yeah.
right?
And Jesus
Jesus,
played for the Houston Astros. I mean, they all played
Right.
all over the place,
But
10
the-
different teams.
the
But
three Alou brothers
Yep.
back in the late '60s or '60s, '70s, and so on and so forth. Ex-Yankee Felipe Alou,
Yeah.
right?
oh yeah.
Yeah.
But no, listen, the Mets. I don't even know what they still got the good pitching, but I think they don't have a powerful lineup up and down the line.
Well, we'll see what the polar bear does again. See
I'm
if the
excited
polar
to watch
bear,
this kid
hits
again.
50 again, but he's the least of their problems. So.
I did like him, but
Oh, I love this
you made me love him even more by
Big
watching
fan
it.
of him.
I didn't think he was going to get to 50, and you assured me he would, and he did.
He
And
did.
Great.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. So, psyched about baseball.
And the Astros are, in spring training, and it still hasn't died down. There's still a lot of feedback coming back that, especially from the players, saying, Mike
Yeah.
Trout even
Chiming in. Yeah, I
saying,
know.
You know what?
You know.
Take the title away, put an asterisk, do something. No,
But when you look at this, okay, they lost
but
Cole.
we'll see what happens. It's,
They're still a talented team,
Oh, yeah.
up and down. I mean, Altuve and Bregman and Springer. I mean, okay, maybe
Correa,
on occasion they knew the curveball was coming, but
Pitching.
still, I
They
can't
got- they're
wrap
loaded.
myself around it. I don't know how it was possible. You could in 3.2 seconds hear a garbage can, and then change your whole thought process in a batter's box against Major League pitching. I don't see how that's possible.
well, it's possible, and it happened.
It did happen, but I just don't know what extent that it had the impact. Would they have won the World Series? I think they were talented enough they could have won the World Series. And the Yankees didn't hit in the championship series last year. I
Okay,
mean,
Yankees won their 3 games at home and lost all 4 in a row. So, we'll see what. Again, it's a conspiracy theory. That
I got it.
hasn't
I
died
got it.
down,
I got
and
it.
This story isn't over.
You're
yet.
right. By a long shot.
That's right.
You're right. And I think the Players Association, like I said, their stand. I don't know. These guys coming out about Manfred. If they want Manfred to go after the players, you're going after your colleagues here. So I don't get it. I'm a
Well, we
little
got
confused.
the collective bargaining agreement is being negotiated, and I think Manfred is wary of that.
Mm.
But again, he made his decision, and we'll see if he sticks to it.
But these guys gotten crucified, and I'm saying I don't know if that's overly justified. I'm not a huge Manfred fan, but what did he do wrong? I mean, right? He kind of hung it to him. Okay,
They're saying he didn't come down hard enough. That the players weren't disciplined,
And what? Take the championship
and
away?
that's the big thing.
Is that the thing?
That's the big debate. So again, this story is not over yet.
Okay, but like spring training and when's first pitch? Got to be 3.5 weeks, 4 weeks. It's usually in March now.
Yeah, it's like March 30,
Yeah.
31st. So
Yep.
again, like golf, the Masters, we're a month out.
Sports is heating up again.
It is. It is.
So listen, let's touch base real quick on some college hoops because I know when you made a bold statement about Baylor going all the way, but they, listen, I'm not surprised, but I haven't seen them. I watched them a couple times and they've won games. Are they the odds-on favorite to win? Yeah, they got a good shot, but you know with the tournament, you never know.
It's still too early as far as I'm concerned. But Kansas came into Baylor and avenged their loss. Baylor beat Kansas, I don't know, maybe a month ago.
Yeah.
At Kansas, and so Kansas is now number 1. Baylor's number 2.
Really heating up college hoops,
Yeah.
though, isn't it? It's awesome.
But we gotta see how it shakes out. The tournaments conference tournaments will start soon.
Yep.
I think there's only maybe a handful of regular season games. March Madness will be upon us as well.
Yep.
But I'm not ruling Baylor out. I think Baylor is a good team.
I think it's
I think
even
they
early.
got, they got as good a shot, I think, as anybody.
I agree with you 100%, and I'm saying to myself, right now, I'm not sure who my clear favorite is or who I would pick in my NCAA pool yet,
It's been crazy.
because it's so wide open.
Yeah,
right.
I mean, this year in particular. I mean, Duke loses to North Carolina State last week. Gonzaga
Loses to BYU or
Yeah,
something.
and
Yeah.
loses by like 10, 15 points.
I know.
So there's really Maryland goes to Ohio State. They're ranked fourth. They only had 4 losses, and
Yep.
they get smoked by Ohio State. So
And we don't. It's a year where we don't have North Carolina, wreaking havoc on everybody, which probably opens the door for
there's
Duke.
teams like Seton Hall that could, possibly.
They've kind of come back to earth a
but
little
they
bit,
could
right?
make a run in the tournament. So some small schools have a good shot this year of making noise in the tournament.
Yeah, you
We'll
always
see
get
what
one of
happens.
those whack teams out west, like
Sure.
the
Well, San Diego State had their first loss.
San Diego
they
State
were 26-0, and they lost last week their first loss.
San Diego State could potentially be a number 1 seed in this tournament. Isn't that
Well,
something?
at 26-1,
And you get those other teams out there like St. Mary's and Santa
Sure.
Clara. These guys,
Yeah,
they light it up.
absolutely.
They light it up.
So,
But I'm psyched about it. We're coming down the stretch in college hoops.
yeah,
I love it.
absolutely.
Because I can't give you 10 cents for the NBA if it's one or the other. I mean, you know where we're going here.
That's right. Well, the
Right?
Celtics played the Lakers over the weekend. It was a close game. But, let's be real. I mean, it's the Lakers out west and, the Bucks.
And the
The
East.
Bucks just clinched. In fact, the Bucks are...
Right, 50 games into the season.
Yeah, I
mean,
think
or
they're the
something.
earliest team to clinch in a long, long time.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, and they're on pace to maybe win 70 and join the Bulls and the Warriors. We'll see.
All right.
But they only got 8 losses. They're pretty good.
All right. Hey, listen, I wanted to ask one question because I saw this statement. I know the Kobe Bryant ceremony was the other day and so forth, and let's not us forget the other victims in that thing, not just the
Absolutely.
Kobe Bryant thing. But they said it was Kobe Bryant is the only player to have 2 numbers retired by the same team.
Huh.
And my initial thought was, wait a minute, didn't Michael Jordan come back and have a different number and win a championship with the Bulls?
Well, he wore,
Both those numbers are not retired?
Well, he wore 45 in baseball. I think he might have wore 45 with the Wizards. I don't know if he...
I think I'm pretty sure, but send us an email at sportswithmanoandmano.com. But I could have sworn he came back, wore 23, right? Was his
Oh, that
original
was-
number.
Absolutely.
And then I thought he wore 46 for the Bulls.
45.
45?
Yep.
All right, but that was my initial thought about who else could have had that done, and I thought him right off the top of my head. But send us an email and correct me if I'm wrong.
I mean, there's retired numbers of 2 guys wearing the same number
Sure.
all over the place, that type of thing.
Yep.
But
The
yeah.
Bill Dickey, Yogi Berra scenario, right? We can go on and on.
Absolutely.
But
Yep.
good stuff, though.
Yep.
Love it. Love it. And listen, we'll let things pan out a little bit. We got some time before we talk about the NFL draft, but Steve and I had a pretty good laugh at the NFL Combine. They were referencing Joe Burrow having small hands, and
Go
obviously
ahead, deliver the line of which comedian. Go ahead.
small hands smell like cabbage. Mike Myers line. That's immediately what I thought of. But
Absolutely.
hey, the guy had the greatest year in college football from a quarterback perspective. If his hands are only 9 inches, I'd roll the dice.
Yeah. and So
I'd roll the dice.
yeah, so I read that Ryan Tannehill, I think, was the last quarterback to measure like 9 inches from thumb to whatever, that
Yeah.
type of thing. So.
Oh, well, how could guys like Pat Hayden, who quarterbacked in this league, not have a 7-inch hand for crying out loud?
Right.
But maybe
Joe-
the game's changed.
Joe-
But I thought it was funny.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
thought it was
Joe Burrow will be the #1 pick by the time.
Absolutely, and he knows that's. You were right. He's an Ohio guy, and that's kind of an honor to play there. So
Yeah, and then really the only other NFL news of locally for the Giants is Gettleman kind of came out and said, "Hey, we're open for business if somebody wants to trade up for like a Tua or something, and they want to get a quarterback, Herbert maybe at 4."
they'll deal the fourth
Yeah,
pick.
go drop a couple slots and get some assets. I don't think that's a bad thing. They'll still get the player that they want.
Yeah.
They have a lot of needs, as everybody knows. So
Yep.
yeah, I mean,
But that's
Gettleman's never done that. That's the thing. He's never traded back.
Yeah, but he hasn't been there that long, and
No,
like I
even with
said,
Carolina.
I think he's made some good picks. So I'm up for whatever he's doing. He gets carte blanche for me to stay the course
And then
here.
the other NFL, scuttlebutt is they're talking about, going to a 17
game. Yeah.
and they're talking about a 10-year, agreement with the players. So that's still being negotiated. So we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, and I think the first thing that I was thinking about with that, because you have 16 game schedule, you have eight home, and I heard somebody's thought saying maybe the 17th game or one of the 17 games is at a neutral site or something, because other teams are going to say, wait a minute, we only got 8 home games, they got,
Right.
you know.
So it's to be negotiated, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah,
It's all about the money. Is it about the money? Yeah.
yeah, it's about the money. You got it. And listen, before we sign off, I want to thank one of our sponsors, D. Filippi's Bakery, for sticking with us and throughout our tenure here. And it's a great place to get what's their best thing?
Everything.
Everything, right? So it's a bakery. If you're up in the Monticello area,
Absolutely.
stop in and
If you're
say
going,
hello.
If you're going to the casino, it's right down the road. So make a point of popping in. It's a great bakery, cafe,
Yep,
great stuff.
and a great sponsor too.
And then before we finish on football, our loyal listener, Mr. James Walsh, was in Texas this past weekend.
Oh, you shared
Set-
that picture
Well,
with
he
me.
sent us a picture that we have to just talk about. The burnt orange Earl Campbell number 20
Oh,
jersey was hanging at a sports bar or something in Austin.
you know,
Signed by
Steve
Campbell.
forwarded it to me, Jim, in 2 seconds, and
Oh,
we
my
both
God.
just flashbacks of watching this guy play.
But I told Jim that it's like looking at the coat of Tutankhamun or something.
Yeah, right.
We were like,
That is college football royalty.
Earl is one of our all-time favorites. So
Yes,
thanks,
he
Jim,
is.
for sharing.
That was
Wanted
awesome.
to acknowledge it.
I would wish we were there to see it in person because we could just talk for hours on it.
No doubt.
The guy was awesome, awesome. Glad you brought that up, Steve.
Yeah.
So listen, thanks for joining us, everybody, and we really would like to hear back from you. You can comment on YouTube and SoundCloud and so forth, and send us an email, and we'll get right back to you. sportswithmonoandmono@gmail.com.
Absolutely. And before we sign off, locally, our St. Joe's Green Knights had a big victory in the Bergen Jamboree.
Okay,
Beat the Don Bosco Ironmen.
it's in basketball for you people outside the tri-state area.
Correct. And they will take on the Bergen Catholic Crusaders. So the #1 seeded Bergen Catholic against number 2 seeded St. Joe's.
It's
this
kind of how you'd
Friday
like it to pan out, right?
at Fairleigh Dickinson. So let's go St. Joe's.
Yep.
And then my shout out is to one of our alums, Jimmy Bedrato, his son Austin, right? Ex Green Knight, real good baseball player.
Won a national championship with the Florida Gators in
You
baseball.
better believe it. So he's now at South Florida University,
Okay.
and they played Marist. And there's an ex St. Joe's player of recent, Nick Cantone, who was on the state championship football and baseball team.
Yeah.
And Jimmy shared a picture, I think it was on Facebook or something, of Nick Cantone and Austin together. So 2
Awesome.
Green Knights at South Florida, Marist, South Florida, 2 Green Knights. Couldn't have been, you know, awesome. So
That's
I wanted
great.
to acknowledge that and shout out.
Good.
Good stuff.
Jimmy's a good guy, former teammate of ours, St.
Absolutely.
Joe's.
Jimmy J. Jimmy J.
So we'll catch up to you next week, folks. And again, thanks for joining us. We really do appreciate it and love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Thanks, everybody.